Okay, so I think we'll get started here. My name is Marta, and I am the admissions coach at the University of Wisconsin-Madison for the Pharmaceutical Sciences Applied Drug Development Program. And tonight we will be covering the application assistance for the ADD Master's Program as well as the capstone. All right, so first off, I want to go over the MS application, the master's. The deadline for that is coming up April 30th, 2026. Also, the deadline for spring semester. So if you are thinking about spring 2027, please apply by August 31st. The materials that you're going to need are unofficial transcripts, your statement of purpose, resume or CV, two letters of recommendation, and if TOEFL or IELTS scores are needed, please provide those. There's also going to be a Kira Talent assessment, which is post-application. So, and I'll go through a few of those details in the upcoming slides, but the URL where you can apply that is on the screen here. If you are interested in the Applied Drug Development Capstone Certificate, those deadlines are a little bit later. So for fall 2026, May 31st is going to be the deadline for that application. If you are interested in spring 2027, then please apply by September 30th. Their application for the capstone is a little different. So the materials you're going to need here are actually the unofficial transcripts, and the statement of purpose is actually an essay component. So the resume or CV, as well as English proficiency scores, if those are applicable, and actually the phone interview is no longer required for the capstone certificate. So I'll go ahead and I will change that after this webinar. So the website that you will apply through is grad.wisc.edu, and this is a current screenshot of the main website here. What you're going to do is create an account. You'll search for the program and then select your term, fall 2026. You can also apply for spring 2027. And it's fairly straightforward. It will ask you the basic information and set up that login. So make sure that you do save that login information for when you check your application at a later time. So the process and the timeline for the master's application, first you'll submit all your application and all the materials. Then it goes into the initial review. That review will then feed into the Kira Talent assessment, which will be that video recording, and the committee review comes after that. That is when you will receive information from the grad school here at UW-Madison, and you will receive admissions information, including how to supply your transcripts to the grad school. So some suggestions that we have for after you submit the application: check your application status, including your reference or recommendation letters. Those letters of recommendation, those are going to be uploaded by your recommender. So once you hit the submit button, you don't have to have all of those recommendation letters there for you. You can actually go ahead and submit your application, and what will happen is that once your recommenders go ahead and upload their information, you will get notice of that. But you can always check to make sure that your recommendation information is current. So the correct email and contact information, so they are getting that notification. And watch your email for the communications from Kira. Career Talent Assessment, they will have specific instructions for you as to how you can apply and answer those questions. It's going to be between 10 and 30 minutes for that interview, recorded interview process, and they'll ask you some questions about yourself and why you're choosing this program. Make sure you do fill out the FAFSA information for domestic students only, and make sure that you do thank your recommenders. It's one of the good best practices to do while filling out your application. For the process and timeline for the capstone, it's a little different. So you would submit your application and all materials. That first round is going to be the initial review of your application. It then goes to the committee for review, and then the graduate admissions review will happen, and they will go ahead and request your transcripts. And you will be receiving specific information again from the graduate school about those transcripts, just like with the master's. So some suggestions for this: make sure you check your application status and fill out that FAFSA for domestic students. Again, it's very important. For transcripts, we do request transcripts from any institution that you attended for undergrad as well as graduate credit. So any technical colleges, universities, any of the courses that you had maybe taken after your undergrad, if you took it for credit, please provide a transcript for those. And while unofficial transcripts are needed for the application, official transcripts will be recommended later. So do not supply official transcripts with your application. Just hang on to those and wait until you receive official word from the school as to how to send your official transcripts to UW-Madison. And UW-Madison Graduate School is the recipient, and the email that you would be sending them to is on the screen here. And again, some best practices while you're supplying your transcripts to the program. Make sure that you are eligible for the program. My job is to provide any information for you, what is needed for prerequisite courses or any experience. And make sure that you do use your statement of purpose to go into greater detail about your grades and how your previous programs or your experience has made you prepared for the Applied Drug Development Master's or Capstone program. And don't overlook the other name question on your application, because sometimes those transcripts can be not matched with your name correctly. So make sure that you do fill in that information as well. For your resume or CV, we do request that you provide just a regular resume or a CV, and make sure that you do include any educational background, any relevant coursework, professional experiences, technical and transferable skills. Make sure that you highlight extracurricular activities or awards that are relevant to the application or the program. So any volunteer work as well. If you're part of any organizations or anything like that, make sure that you do put that on your resume. And make sure that your document is up to date with your most recent information. Sometimes we don't always update our resume or CV as often as we would like, so make sure that those skills from you, or skills or job experience or education is up to date on those. And make sure that you have some colleagues or supervisors, faculty, or friends and family provide any feedback on your resume. It's great to have another set of eyes to go over that and consider what you want the program to know. So, what kinds of skills and experiences, and what do you want to highlight from your education that you want to show the committee? And make sure that you use this to provide brief information about you, and then use your statement of purpose, that essay component, in order to talk more in detail about your skills and anything else. For your letters of recommendation, and this is for the master's application only, we do ask for two letters of recommendation, and recommenders will receive a form to fill out with a link to upload a letter. So when you are filling out that application and you put the recommender's name and contact information into that form, they will receive an automated email where they receive that link in order to upload their letter and fill out the form. And review of your application, it can't move forward um, with consideration until your two letters are received. So, who you might want to talk to about providing a recommendation letter would be a current or former supervisor, current or former professors, any professional mentors that you might have, or undergraduate advisors. Best practices provide guidelines and length. So about half a page to a page for your recommenders. It doesn't have to be fancy or long. Make sure that you talk with them also before you put their name into that application, because they will receive an automated email, and it's just best practice to talk with that person beforehand. And, really remind them why you're applying to this program. You can provide them with your statement of purpose. You can provide them with your resume as well, um, to make sure that they get the skills that you want and need on your recommendation letters. For the master's program, there is that essay component, the statement of purpose, and this is where you broadly introduce the reader to your background and communicate your professional and academic credentials and values. So offer context as to how you learned about the pharmacy program, the applied drug development program, and why it's important to you. You can communicate your motivations and goals that led you to applying to the pharmacy program and summarize your credentials. Make sure that you don't let perfect get in the way of good. So that's a really key suggestion. So just put something on a page, um, you know, to start off with, and make sure that you put, your background, introduce yourself, and then your experience and your whys. Have your resume on hand and make sure that it is 1,000 words or less. And myself, as an admissions coach, I can help review your draft and provide prompt feedback. And it's fine if there's a little overlap between your statement of purpose as well as your resume and recommendation letters. They all kind of go together. We, like other information and context sources, generative AI can be used to support your original idea, but not to write your entire essay. So make sure that you do use AI appropriately. For the capstone, there is a short answer essay component, and that is where you can explain why your academic and professional background makes you a great fit for this program, and how will the capstone's curriculum help you succeed in your career. Again, some suggestions for that essay is don't let perfect get in the way of good again. And this one's even shorter. This one is 500 words or less. So be succinct. Make sure that you don't get too in the weeds with things. Have someone proofread your essay before submitting it. I can as well. take a look at your short answer if you're interested in the capstone, and I can provide feedback on that. Again, with generative AI, make sure that you do use it appropriately. And while it can support your original idea, be sure to not let it write your essay for you. For the master's application, there is the Kira Talent Assessment and Interview, and this is the second round of the program's holistic application review. It's an asynchronous session that applicants complete on their own schedule. So it's on demand, it's a timed video and timed written assessments. And it takes anywhere in between 10 to 30 minutes to complete. So make sure that you do have your resume handy. Check your email for Kira Talent information in order to start that assessment. Utilize Kira Talent technical support if needed. So information will be provided in the email if you do come across any technical issues, and please contact Kira directly. Complete your assessment as soon as possible to move forward in the review process as well. So for next steps, then eligibility review or sending your application materials to me to see, if you are eligible for the program. If you have any questions about your statement of purpose or anything like that, I'm happy to help. And with the essay component, I should say, as well for capstone as well. And for both programs, we actually have an alumni panel that is coming up that is April 14th from 5 until 5:30 p.m. Regarding alumni and their experiences. So that is an upcoming webinar that you can go ahead and register or learn more. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to email me. You can give me a call, set up a chat with me, but I am happy to answer any of your questions regarding the program or the application process.